What's that?
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody to episode 15
It's on
of
the fucking screen. Oh, sorry.
New capture system works,
Wait.
everybody.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's great.
Good test.
Starts.
All right. As you can see, we are using a new and hopefully more helpful version of our captions tonight. And there was well, let's not draw attention to it. So
By mentioning it or anything again for the second time.
you can check it out on the VOD. VOD on the VOD. I don't know how whatever the kids say these days. Anyway, so this is episode 15 of Taldorei Fields of Wonder, and we should have a pretty decent show for you tonight. Look at me hyping this thing up really, really well. Get ready for this amazing episode we have in store for you tonight that I have definitely prepared for, and is going to go extremely smoothly. Before we get into the fun, let's do some player introductions here. Let's start out. Rain, who are you and who are you playing tonight?
Hello. I am going to be playing Big Mama Mocha. She is a female going by she, her pronouns and hangry pronoun as well as the main one. She is a stout halfling Circle of the Moon druid.
All right, Alex.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alex or Ziva RPG. I will be playing Hosen Sunhelm, the Rune Knight Fighter Rogue multiclass. I'm excited to be here.
Fantastic. Smitty?
Hello, everyone. I'm Smitty, he, him. I'll be playing the lonely, left behind, forgotten about Kenku life cleric by the name of Second. Pronouns they, them. Weep for me.
I got the violin out.
That's a Hades Town reference.
And then lastly, Jacob.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jacob Blake, Duval King Jacob. Wherever thou can, that's actually not even how that works. Wherever I can be found on the internets. And tonight, as per usual, I'll be playing Cinnabon Garrist. He uses he, they pronouns. And he is our lovely Hurricane Wildfire Druid that definitely did not forget about Second and is probably going to cry when he sees them.
And I am your trusty dungeon master for the evening. So let's see. Before we get into things tonight, as always, we want to make sure that we call out and hype up our artists. We actually had a little bit of a as you can see, an overlay adjustment, and Happy Capster did a great job of taking care of that in pretty short notice. And on those overlays, you can see Lynn, aka Gremlin Art, did the character art for all the characters here. Absolutely fantastic, and you should hire them. And in a little bit, I'm going to show you the promo here that So Many Games put together. Now, before we get into things, I was actually going to kick it over to you, Jacob, but I just want to marinate 1 second on So Many Games' promo skills, because the promo for the game that I am going to kick it over to you, Jacob, is just absolutely unbelievable. So Maddie put heart and soul into this thing, and it just came out absolutely fantastic. So do you want to talk a little bit more about that, Jacob?
Absolutely. So the game slash show that Bill is alluding to is Arkenhold University, Schools of Evolvement and Longevity. Thank you, Cooper. And that is our new show that premieres bi-weekly Thursday starting on the 26th of January at 8 p.m. Eastern Time right here on the Amphitheater. And we've finally, officially, after teasing it for what seems like forever, announced our incredible cast of April Raygun, me, myself, and I, Obo Lauren, Freckle Sketches, aka Jess, who's the cartographer of Duval Dragons, if you didn't know, and of course the wonderful, lovely Robo Goblin, and of course Maddie behind the GM screen. And we all created different schools and actually some founder NPCs that created them, and it's just going to be really cool. I'm really stoked to get the ball rolling on that.
Absolutely. Cannot wait to catch that as well. But for now, for tonight is the night that we let's let's all go on adventures. Let's all go on adventures. Let's all go on adventures. Because we are all Team Small.
Amazing.
All right, welcome back, everybody, from that very short but much needed break. We are going to hit it off with our recap here. All right, so let's put some music on. So let's start off here. All right, last time, upon entering the city of Westruun, 3/4 of the party saw Cowl, the werewolf that they met earlier on, and who wanted to bring down the League of Miracles, hanging from a flagpole in the center of the main square of town. Then, moving deeper into the city, they saw Hosen's old home in the center that had been walled off as a reminder to the supposed harm of corruption in the previous government. Then they made their way to the Laughing Lord, where Hosen's friend Fifi is holed up. Where, after a bit of a slow start to the conversation, Fifi brought the group upstairs and told them that she doesn't know exactly what happened to Hosen's family, just that there were a ton of rumors, and none of them confirmed. Seems like answers might be found inside the old mansion, but at least as of right now, it's unclear how to get in. Halfway across the continent, Second's journey led them to a fight underway. A mountain lion had trapped some baby griffins and was trying to figure a way to eat them. Luckily, Second saved some of the delicious cured meat from their rations and used it to entice, then scare the mountain lion away. Then they all got inside the small. Then they got inside the small hovel where the griffins warmed up to Second's presence. Before long, Mama Griffin found them, and after the babies vouched for Second's character, Mama bestowed a favor onto Second, bringing them to Westruun. But just before we ended the night, Second noticed something off to the right. Flying beside them was the hawk that they had met at the top of the mountain, keeping pace with the Mama Griffin flying towards Westruun. And I think I would like to, I wanted to start there until 2 minutes before we went live because there was a little bit of a disagreement, and I think it matters in terms of both timing as well as the action that's happening in Fifi's. Did you all want to take a long rest at this point? Because I had inferred it, but it sounded like it wasn't necessarily the intention.
Yeah,
I think. Go for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that was probably slightly around the corner, but I think we were right around, like around the corner from it. If I'm being honest, like we were, because we were talking about the flower and sort of like finalizing the next day's plans. I think.
Okay, cool. All right, perfect. So so with that, we're not gonna start with you all. We're gonna start with Smitty second. And so second, we're gonna pick up right as you kind of turn your head to the right and see this hawk flying next to you. What would you like to do?
How far away is the hawk?
Probably about, I mean, it's not super close. It might be 250 feet.
I'll look over at the hawk, tilt my head a little bit, and then just go like this.
Okay. You're trying to see if you can hear something?
I'm trying to imply to the hawk that I can't hear it in case it wanted to tell me anything.
Ah. You can see its head tilt towards you. And then it puts its head back straight forward. And then you can see it slows down a little bit. And so it is further now behind you, but it is still keeping pace. Just like position wise, it is now behind you.
Okay. I will not care about it.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so in terms of time frame, you have been flying now for, I would say, roughly about 4 to 5 hours, and you have left kind of the cold mountain area, and the Griffin has got you a little bit lower to the ground now. You're probably maybe 1,000 feet off of the ground at the moment, flying well above treetops and whatnot, and you could see that the ultimate destination, West Run, has grown in size now, and you can start to see that you probably are more than halfway there. You actually, as you are coming from this direction, you see the branch of the Parchwood Way, and off towards the left, as you are flying towards West Run, you can see that there is that crossroads, and that is where you saw your compatriots from Mercy. And then you could kind of see that, like, that's where that location was, that you went off down towards Shadeborough down south. But that's probably, another 2 or 3 hours flight off in a different direction. But just to sort of like triangulate where you are at the moment.
Yeah, I'll make a mental note of where that is and continue sitting there. I don't know if I'll try a little bit to maybe like direct the Griffin just slightly to see if they respond to my proddings in one direction or another.
Sure. Why don't you make an animal handling check?
The 21.
Crushing these animal handling checks. Yeah, so you move your center of gravity over to one side, and you recognize that the Griffin is trying to get underneath you so that you don't fall out. And by doing that, it is kind of moving you a little bit to the right. So you feel like if you could shift your weight in a certain way, you could more or less kind of direct this thing.
I'll try. I mean, I know I'm far out, but I'll try and find a space that looks less populated, outside of West Run, maybe like a hour walk outside, where I feel like the Griffin could put me down without risking itself, and
Okay.
also so that I would have some time to like collect myself as I enter the city.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. All right. So we are going to leave you there.
Sure.
We're going to pick you up when you finally get to West Run, but we're going to jump back over to the rest of you all. In terms of your situation, you are upstairs at the Laughing Lord. You are still engaged in the conversation with Fifi. Cinnabon, your family is basically spread out amongst a couple of the other rooms that are up here. There aren't a whole lot, if I remember right. I think I said there were 6 to 8 rooms, something like that. And they're, Fifi has basically given you the run of the upstairs at the moment. So you've got some siblings in some one room. You've got a dumpling that is jumping on a bed somewhere, and yes, it's basically all kind of spread out. The main conversation is happening in the first room on the left hand side, where I presume the 3 of you are, along with Fifi.
Yep. Well, so
Yep.
she went down to deal with whoever
The loud
person-
one.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Yeah,
then-
the one that would wanted the drinks,
Yeah.
and then left you all alone.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just making sure. I knew where we picked up. Where we're picking up. So suppose in regards to this flower situation, is that something we should do immediately, and then rest for the day, or
That's what I was thinking. I don't know.
Alright.
Like last time I got like some kind of vision about this, but um that was just a quick sniff of it. If I want to take like a deeper breath of this thing, I don't know how long I would be like
certainly
in here for, or if it'll give me anything. It's been a few days since, or not even a day. It's been a day. But it I don't know what kind of effect it will have on me.
That's what's interesting about it for me, at least from my perspective, because the visions that I've seen, well, of one location, a location that we've, for lack of a better term, removed, and that was just in my dreams. I believe in my father's dreams. I would have certainly loved a flower like this one, I think.
Is
So,
it for you two, like, I've had dreams in the past of, nightmares, embarrassing moments, stuff like that. This feels, I don't know, like I'm a little bit scared of this dream. Is it normal to be scared of a dream?
I think so.
Yeah.
Especially if it comes true in a way that you didn't anticipate.
True.
An understatement for my current situation, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad, I'm glad we're here, not still at Shadeborough when we do this, but yeah, I think I want to take see what dream comes from this flower.
Now with that flower, does it this is for Bill, is it, since Hosen's gotten it, has it like wilted or anything, or is it still kind of like in stasis, like what it looks like?
Great question. It has been about a day since you picked this up. So it's still pretty fresh.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I think I'm ready. Are you all ready?
That's wherever going to be, I believe.
Alrighty.
Just in case, it'll tap you on the shoulder and cast guidance.
Alrighty.
All right, I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Cool. Plus, so there's a Constitution saving throw here. That's already a 21, but I'll
Nice.
roll the d4.
Well, the D4, it's guidance is only for ability checks.
Ah, gotcha. Cool. Never mind then.
All right. Wow. Starting off the night pretty hot.
Yeah.
Okay. So Hosen, you pick up this still relatively fresh petal and put it to your nose. You take a very strong smell of this. And as I mentioned last time, it's not like a physical transportation. It's sort of like a mental transportation. Like there is this immediate recognition of the moment in time that you smell this.
Gotcha.
And you go back, and just a little bit of a recap from the last one. You are wrapped tightly in some sort of heavy blankets. You were dressed extremely warmly. You're clutching the waist of your father as you are going up some sort of hill into the mountain ranges. And that, from what you remember, that's where the memory kind of ended for you the last time. Now, this time, the memory doesn't end there. This time, you have prepared yourself. You have dedicated yourself to investigating this much more closely. And this time, you stick with the memory. And then you hear your father's voice. He says to you, just a little bit longer, son. And as he's riding on top of this horse, he puts the reins in one hand and then reaches around and kind of like familiarly slaps you on the thigh to like encourage you. And he says, you don't know what it means to me that we're doing this. And a little bit of time goes by, and and you are kind of walking through this field, and then all of a sudden the field turns from kind of the scrub grass into these purple petals, and the hooves of the horse knock through these flowers, and the smell that you smell from the petal kind of jumps up into your nose. And as you're doing this, you look up and you see in front of you this complex of buildings. There are a few small, let's call them shacks, kind of arranged in a somewhat haphazard shape. There is a little bit of a courtyard in the middle with what looks like a fountain of sorts right in the center that is currently spewing some water. It's there is no real shape to it. It's not like a statue of a boy or anything like that. It's just kind of like these shooting fountains. And then right behind that courtyard, you see a tower that rises up into the sky. And you could see in your memory, the door to the tower opens, and then a figure steps out. And then that you can see that figure is wearing a cloak. And that cloak is a brilliant, rich colored gold. And then your memory fades off.
All right.
And you come back.
I kind of shake awake. take some deep breaths. Try to get like air back to my lungs, trying to get out of there. Um, and I kind of repeat what I saw. I saw a courtyard. There was mountains. There was fountains, little shacks. There was this big tower, and a figure in a gold cloak. That's what I saw. Um, do I recognize the person in a gold cloak, or is that the only thing that I know?
Yeah, you don't recognize. No.
Gotcha. Um, I just remember seeing a figure in a gold cloak, and that's about it.
And you believe this is something that you've already seen before? And this flower is reminding you?
I think so. My in the dream there was my father. We were riding horseback. I was younger. Um, and we it was super cold. I was all bundled up. It felt familiar, but I don't remember any of this. I don't remember this night at all. There's it's weird seeing a place from your point of view that you've never been to, or you don't remember at least.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Bill. Did the others complained of not remembering, like, as well, right?
Absolutely.
Um, Perhaps this is part of your room situation.
That's what I'm thinking.
This was something that was taken from you.
I think so. Or whoever got these tattoos also, they wanted to make sure they forgot where they got them from.
Perhaps.
If we think that these are all connected, League of Miracles and these tattoos, which, the mage is there, Shadeborough had these tattoos. I think that's where second is, but it doesn't really help me pinpoint exactly where this is. I gotta find out where this flower comes from in order to pinpoint where second is.
And maybe there's a map maker somewhere in town that we could ask, just based
Yeah.
off of the description.
I like that idea. I like that idea a lot.
All right.
Yeah. Map maker, apothecary, something. But honestly, after this day, maybe we should rest. I don't. What time of day is it? Is it late at night, or is it? What are we thinking here?
It is late at night. Yes. You probably, I would say, like, not super late, maybe 8 or 9 o'clock.
Gotcha. Should we wait till morning, or should we knock on some doors? See if anybody's open.
It's a good question. Do
Well, it
any-
depends if we were gonna go, you know, a little quieter, that would be more prudent to do it at night
Mm-hmm.
to be less noticed. But if we're gonna go ahead and do something till we know that the shops will be open, whomever we need to talk to, that would be during business hours during the day.
Another thing we can do is we could try to scope out the palace. If there's anything I know about my father's like keep, or maybe there's information in there that could tell us where this flower comes from or where we were taken to.
that
And
might
if
make
it's nighttime
sense.
right now, we could try to be super stealthy, try to go in there,
Get a head start.
get a head start. Because
Never been to a palace before.
I don't know about you, but I'm ready to go. I am like, it's been a long day, like mentally, but physically I'm good. Like,
Pretty restless myself. Speaking of that, and he'll reach for the flower.
Oh, here, yes.
Unless you wanted to go first, Big Mama Mocha, there was something you were trying to glean from this experience.
I mean, we all gonna go ahead and sniff the flower?
I'll admit, it's a bit more selfish. Maybe this can give me some insight into why I've seen what I've seen. Or it could be nothing at all.
I say you go first then. We'll be here.
All right. And he'll sniff the flower. Full on in.
Okay. Roll a Constitution saving throw.
Shockingly, really good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's at 18.
Okay. With an 18, you take a big old whiff of this thing. It
I
smells
blame the liquid
sweet.
courage.
Yep.
It smells sweet, almost like a velvety nose. But then beyond the scent, you get nothing. Just smells like a sweet flower to you.
Oh. I think it might just be for you.
You didn't feel anything?
Not a thing.
Interesting.
I suppose not everything can be connected.
True.
At least I know.
That's true.
Let me try. And so she starts to reach out for the flower.
All right.
So she's like, just
Everyone just huffing a flower for the next hour.
Okay. I'm not even good. I made Jacob roll Constitution saving throw just to sort of like extend the suspense a little bit, but I'm not going to make you roll. It just smells like
Wow.
a really, really good smelling flower.
no, this is nice. But yeah, I think this is attuned to you.
Gotcha. Good to know. All right. That's yeah. That's good to know, I guess. Yes. I grabbed like the little bottle, the little vial, and I put the flower in there, close it up. Hopefully it's I keep on keep researching this. Like keep on going back in there, but I think should we go inside the palace?
Tonight?
Shoo.
Let's
Yeah.
see. Do you want to go tonight? I mean, I'm more than happy to take a rest here and go in the morning,
Well,
or we can.
let's do our original plan, scope things out, and then we
Mhm.
can make a decision then.
Cool.
So here's the other half of the issue. And he kind of like uses his head to like kind of point to the other doors.
Yes.
They want to help too. And I think it would be very unfair, and I suspect that I will get a lovely talking to from HB and Brioche if I did not invite them along for the ride.
That's fair. I would more the merrier. Like, be happy to have more people along, more eyes to see what's going on here, and if they knows the dangers of trying to meddle with the League of Miracles. I'm more than happy to invite them along.
Some of them.
Some of them.
And I'll go up and go and get the kids.
All right. Yeah, at this point, it is a bit of a mess. Your siblings are all over the map, I will say. There are some that are, a couple that are like wrestling in one of the rooms.
Let the
That's the
Garrus
youngest
scavenger
ones.
hunt begin.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of that have that are oh, shoot, let me get up their names again. I feel like at this point I should probably know their names by heart, but I just
Like a Panera bread menu. You know.
well, what was really helpful is Jacob gave me like personality traits alongside of them, so that was really helpful. Okay, so I would say Brioche is standing at the top of the stairs and starting to like inch their way down the stairs and kind of like see what's going on down there because there's definitely a conversation happening between Fifi and the other patron. You can see Sesame and Dumplin are kind of like in the midst of one of those cartoon fights where you just like see a big ball of dust and like an arm comes out and like another leg comes out and stuff. And then you could see that Honeybun is in the midst of trying to break up that fight. Kaiser and Lucky are not. They are in fact cordoned off, and as you're kind of looking around, they look a little bit sullen, and they're having a conversation between the two of them. But that's more or less what the makeup of your family is at the moment.
Gotcha. I'll walk up to Sullen Zone first.
Okay. You can hear a little bit of a sniffle as you walk in, and you can see that Lucky is facing, like, they're both sitting on the bed, and Lucky is facing you as you walk in, and you can see that she kind of wipes away a tear, and Kaiser looks back behind you and back behind them and looks at you coming in the door, and Kaiser just kind of reaches over and gives Lucky a hug, and I think Kaiser then stands up and walks over to you and says, "I think she just had it hit her. What has gone on?"
That's all right. You're allowed to feel that way, even in your darker moments.
Yes.
It's not been easy. And of course, is it like, are they like in like a corner or?
Yeah.
And he'll sort of like sit down like on the ground, and kind of like make a point to be lower than them and look up at them.
Okay.
And to be very honest, it's likely not going to get any easier for a little while, at least.
And then Kaiser chimes in off of the back of that and says, and that's what I was trying to explain, is that it might not get easier, but at least we're together.
Yes. What's important is that we do have each other.
And you can see Lucky kind of look you in the eyes, and her eyes are all swollen up with tears, and she says, it feels so silly to be called lucky in this moment. It's just like I don't feel lucky at all.
And that's all right too. But to be fair, if you were lucky the whole time, is that really luck at all? Certainly has to be some sort of ebb and flow, no?
But did it have to flow that hard?
I certainly wish it didn't. But I do believe, especially with you in tow, that perhaps it's just around the corner. And in between now and then, you could focus on the chaos side of you.
A smirk comes across Lucky's face, and then she says, "So, what do we do now?"
Well, and he'll kind of make a point to try to grab everyone's attention. Who's ready for a bit of a late night field trip?
Kaiser stands up immediately. Lucky wipes her eyes, and then as she stands up, you can see her eyes have more or less completely dried. Then you hear Honeybun stand and come over, and Honeybun says, "What's this I hear about a late night field trip?" And at that, everybody is over now.
Yeah.
Dublin and Sesame, and they're all kind of like standing out there.
We get to leave. Yes, we are going to be checking out a location that we kind of exaggeratingly looks around that we might be infiltrating later.
Like a lightning bolt of excitement just goes through all of them.
Shh. Easy. Well, I suppose I don't need to ask if you wanted to go now, do I?
I think Honeybun kind of looks at all of your siblings and then looks back at you and says, "After what we've just gone through, I don't think it's a choice for us to ever be separated again."
Just nod. All right. Gather your things. We leave in a few.
They all scatter.
And clean the
going.
rooms. Come on now.
All right. Big Mama, anything you would like to do before heading out?
No, she doesn't have anything that she needs to do necessarily. She's all set.
Okay, very cool. Hosen, any last minute things?
Yeah, one thing before we head on out. A while back in the mayor's house, I grabbed a big old ruby. And I originally looked at it a little bit, tried to see if it was magical. Is it still like just a giant gem? Or is there any way I can see if there's any magical properties about this thing, or is it just a giant gem?
Absolutely. You can make a Arcana check.
Arcana. -1, baby. Here we go. Nat 20. That's a 6. That's a solid 6.
Yep.
It's big,
Solid.
it's beautiful, and it's red.
Cool. Lovely. Knowing that, I think I want to give it to Fifi.
Okay.
And just something that could be worth a lot of money, something to help out with the business. And just to give them some kind of hope that even though things are looking dire right now, there's still people looking out for them. So I think he wants to like wrap it up, and on like the way out, just kind of like leave it for Fifi, like in the room or like at the bar, or just like set it aside to hand to Fifi.
Okay, yeah, because last time we were talking about how she was concerned about the effects and impacts that the drought and the upcoming famine might have on her and her business. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Do you want to put it in her hands, or do you want to sort of conspicuously drop it somewhere so that she will find it later?
I think I want to give it to her in her hands. If I think this is just a big ass ruby, it's probably going to be worth a lot. So I think I want to like knock on her door. If she has room, if I know that she has a room in this place, and kind of wake her up a little bit and just be like, "Hey, here's this. Don't worry about it. Don't worry." And just like close the door. Just hand
Yeah,
it to her. Just close the door and then leave.
Well, it's only 9 o'clock, so she's probably still downstairs.
Okay, cool.
But the patron that was there before is now gone. And if you'd like to, you can speak with her. She's kind of at the bar closing up. She's got a wash rag and she's cleaning up the bar and picking up, some of the food that the patron left behind.
All right. I go up to Fifi and go, hey Fifi, can I talk to you for a second real quick?
Yeah, sure. And she kind of takes the wash rag and puts it in her back pocket and then stands up, puts her hands on her hips. What's going on?
I have this thing for you. I know things are hard right now. I found on the way. I don't necessarily need it right now. But I want you to have it. I have it wrapped up in a cloth here. Here, don't show it to anybody. And just kind of like hand it to her.
Is it alive?
No, it's not. It's not alive.
Is it stolen?
No. I'm not trying to be deceptive whatsoever. I'm just like, no, it's not stolen whatsoever.
Okay, and she peeks under the cloth and she looks up at you and she says, Jesus Christ, Hosen, this has to be worth thousands. What, how did you get something like this?
Out of entering, you find some very unique things and find treasure. I think that's what the point of adventuring is, right?
She, like, all of the color has gone out of her face and she looks at you and she says, I think you should keep this. And she like pushes it up against your chest and she says, I'll figure out my situation, but knowing what you're going through, what you possibly might be up against, you're going to need all the resources you have.
I have all the resources I have right here as I like point to all the people, all the friends that we've made, the crew. They got my back. I want to make sure that someone's looking out for yours too. And I push the gem back to her.
Hey, she looks back up at you and says, and now I know why you don't want anybody to show this. All right. I'll keep it safe. And listen, thank you.
Of course, you're welcome. Thank you.
And she immediately goes into one of the back rooms and you can hear her like sort of opening up some of the cabinets and whatnot, presumably to put it somewhere for safekeeping.
Cool. Sounds good. I clean my armor, ready to go.
All right. All right, we are going to zoom out and we are going to go over to Second. It has been that remainder of the flight. You are approaching the city of Westrun. And as you mentioned, you wanted to be parked outside, roughly about 30 minutes or whatnot. Okay, so you kind of use your animal handling check from before to project your weight in such a way that the griffin knows that it doesn't necessarily want to go in. And there is a small area that is protected a little bit by some trees. And it's like a little glade that is open and the rest of it is just field, but for some reason right here there is a little patch of trees. You figured this is a perfect place for you to park your griffin and hop out. So you are descending.
Don't forget your lock or griffin on the way out, always good to know.
Boop, boop.
Here to validate your parking.
Is the hawk still with?
Make a perception check because it is now getting late.
$13.
Well, let me contest that. Yeah, you spot it. And it is, at the moment, since you've been descending, it stayed roughly where you were above you, at the same altitude as you were flying before. And right now it's just kind of circling up above you.
Land.
Okay.
I'll
You,
Okay.
you have so landed.
I'll let myself down from the griffin, making care not to push off or hurt either of the two young griffin cubs.
Mhm.
I will snuggle each of them a little bit, rub their heads, ruffle their feathers a tad bit. I will pluck out two of my smaller feathers, and I will stick them in around the neck of each of the two baby griffins, and then give them another little scritch. I will then walk to the front and look up at the griffin, take out the remainder of what was it? What was the sausage name? If you could let me know it again.
Giuseppe's spicy sausage.
Giuseppe spicy sausage. I will
Hard
toss it up.
sausage.
Giuseppe's spicy hard, and I will toss it up to the griffin. I will
Okay.
nod, and I will just pat it and say, "Stay safe, stay safe." And I don't know. I don't think anything's gonna happen to it, but I'll give it some resistance before it takes flight.
Okay. You could see that the two baby griffins that are on top, kind of now that you have left a warm spot, have gotten right where you were sitting and are kind of fluffing the feathers of the mama griffin to get closer into that warm spot. And the mama kind of stands up now, having let you off, and paces around in a little bit of a circle, and then looks at you directly into your face, and then opens its beak. And you can see that there is this moment where you're not sure what the intentions are. Your intuition is more honed towards humanoids, but this thing kind of comes towards you with this open beak and then lets loose its very prickly tongue, and it kind of lashes you across the face in a very affectionate way, and then rears up its front legs, spreads its wings, and then starts flying off.
Again, smiles to himself, then immediately takes out their cloak and wipes off their face. We'll put the cloak over their head and begin walking towards Westrun. Every once in a while with their shield, maybe angling it a bit over their shoulder to see if they can see in the reflection the hawk following.
Okay. Now that you have spotted the hawk, I imagine you're probably going to, keep tabs on it. You can tell that as you're walking forward, it is also tracking you. So it is basically almost like a second beacon up in the sky.
The next gathering of trees that I get to,
Yes.
when I feel I am momentarily obscured from the hawk, I will pause, turn invisible, and then take off at a nifty clip towards Westrun.
Fantastic. Okay. I was gonna say you continue to keep tabs on it through your shield, but I assume that the shield is also invisible, so you can't.
Yeah, but if I'm invisible, I'll just look over my shoulder.
Okay. No tricks needed for that. You just look at it. And you do notice that it cannot catch you. Has no idea where you are, and in fact, the tight little circles that it had over top of you are now kind of expanding wider and wider as it's searching.
Great.
All right. So after maybe 30 minutes of walking, you come up to the entryway to Westrun. And it is later on at night. It's probably 8 o'clock or so. The gates are still open. It's not late enough necessarily to have them be closed, but when you look inside, you do see that there is that same square that I mentioned before, with the flagpole in the middle, and then Cowl is up on there as well. So seconds, I probably should have exercised some dramatic irony here, but this would be Second's first instance of seeing Cowl hung up.
Second will be a bit taken aback, and very nervously gather their cloak, even though they're still invisible, their cloak around themselves and move against a wall. Second doesn't know much about West Run, but knows that we've been tracking this League of Miracles and that they are not to be trusted. So certainly keeping an eye out for any red-robed individuals. What was the name of the peacekeeping force?
Shields.
The Shields.
Yeah.
Second will keep an eye out for anyone that looks like a shield.
Okay.
But first, I guess if they're still invisible, they'll walk over towards Howl. They're on like a pike, or they're just hanging?
They're just hanging off the top of the pole. It's definitely not a pike.
Okay.
There's like a rope that is like suspending them off of the top.
Is the rope tied at the bottom where Second can reach it?
Second's pretty small, so I would say no. You would probably need to be at least another 3 or 4 feet tall to be able to reach this.
Okay. Then Second will make a mental note of where they are standing relative to the gate right now. Continue on into West Run, looking
Okay.
for shields.
Okay, sounds good. So the traffic right now is pretty light. There are really only a few people on the street at the moment, and the people that are on the street are walking pretty quickly. It seems as though they are rushed in some way. They're trying to get to their location as quickly as possible, also known as rushed. Now, in terms of looking for shields, this is something that you see. There are regular patrols of the shields that after maybe 30 minutes of being inside of West Run, you can now see that there is a little bit of a pattern to them. They seem to be going, the city is more or less circular in fashion, and they seem to be going in a counterclockwise fashion around the city. So there are like concentric roads that are parallel isn't the right word because it's a circle, but like these concentric circles are focused around the center, and you can see that like on a pretty regular basis there are people going around counterclockwise.
I'll wait till like one of the shield groups is approaching where I am, and I will, against the wall, turn invisible, and I will walk out in front of them and wave at them.
So turn in.
I will turn visible. Sorry, I'll turn visible.
Okay.
And walk out. I don't want to see them see me turn visible, but I want to walk out visible in front of them.
Okay.
And I'll wave at them.
These two look at each other quizzically and wave back.
West Run. And I'll point to the ground.
The one on the left nods. Yes.
I'll make myself look like an image of Hosen, and say, I'm looking for someone who looks like me. Knowing this is where Hosen's from, I'm hoping that people know him here.
Interesting. Okay. I am going to make a roll. 15 or higher, they know. 10. Kind of look at you. Good luck. with that.
I'll nod. And then I'll start running counterclockwise against the path they've made just till I hit the next group of shields and just keep going and asking, I'm looking for someone who looks like me.
Okay. All right. Just to save time, as you're walking past the very first two, the one that is next to the one that was speaking kind of elbows the one that spoke and said, wait a sec, hold on. And they stop and they turn around and says, doesn't that remind you of Zimmerset's kid? And the other one says, wait a sec. Yeah, that does look like Zimmerset's kid. And then the one that would originally spoke walks over to you and says, you're looking for this person? Interesting. Well, he hasn't been seen around here for years. But you may want to check the mansion. Do you have reason to think that he's in the city? They look at each other back and forth and they are like jaw dropped. And then they look back at you and say, what is it that you're looking for him for?
Second thinks about it for a second or multiple seconds.
And let me give you a bit of information based upon your passive insight. Like, they are excited for bad reasons.
Amazing.
I'm more or less impressed, but I'm incredibly concerned.
Yeah, we're concerned that he's back too. Okay.
What does that mean?
It just means things I think are gonna get a little bit complicated. Yeah, why don't you check out the mansion in the center of town, and maybe we'll see you there. And they kind of trot off, not in the direction that they were headed originally. They are headed sort of into one of the concentric circles.
Seemed they were ne'er-do-wells. Second, you said they had possibly negative motives, Bill?
Correct, yes.
Second will drop Ozen's image, put their cloak up, and leave Westrun. Go.
Okay. Interesting. Can I ask why?
Because Second wants to communicate with these compatriots of theirs, but they can't until tomorrow, and they don't feel safe in the city now. So they want to put space between them and the city.
That makes sense. I thought you were sort of like, well, fuck this.
I mean, there's an element of that too. Like,
sure.
Because now, well, Second's,
Fair.
yeah.
No, fair enough. Like you don't have to explain any more than what you just did, because that makes a lot of sense to me. Okay. You bounce. It is relatively easy for you to make your way outside of town. And what is your plan once you get out of the city limits?
Find something I can sleep under.
Okay, you can actually make another 20-minute walk, let's say, over to that clump of trees that you were at before.
I'm not going back to the copper trees where I left the hawk. Like I don't want to go right back to where the hawk was looking for me.
Okay, sure. That's fine. Why don't you make a survival check?
Just anything. Any, like, if there's a building outside of the city with like I don't know, part 13.
Yeah, you see off maybe about 15 minutes in the opposite direction, you see what looks like an old windmill.
Okay.
That is not currently turning. Perhaps it is abandoned.
And we'll head to the windmill.
Perfect. It is super abandoned, and you are in there.
We'll find a nice cozy spot. It's been a long day of griffin riding, and I will go to sleep.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
Okay. Fun. This seems like the perfect time to take a little bit of a break here. So we're gonna kind of hang it up for about 10 minutes, and we will be back.
Oh
Ooh.
boy.
Oh boy.
This is intense. I'm so excited.
Heist time.
Heist
Yeah.
time, maybe. We'll
Things
see.
are gonna
see.
get pretty wild.
Let's go. See you guys in a few.
Welcome back, everybody. We are going to cut away from second here. And we are going to go to what I anticipate being a fairly interesting heist. So all
Oh dear.
you have 8, so there's 10 of you now. The 8 Garrists plus Big Mama and Hosen. Tell me what you are doing.
Yeah, I think in Hosen's mind we like do we want to like meet up in the Laughing Lord lobby and just be like, all right, so here's what I'm thinking. I think we go up to the wall, either we split up, go around the palace wall and just try to find an entrance point, or we all just kind of go at one point and just trying to find a way over it. I don't know how to get over it or anything of that sort, but maybe we could find a way to fly above it. I don't know, or dig through it, or I'm just spitballing ideas here. But like, do we want to recon mission first and then meet back up, or do we want to just go right in?
Hosen, sorry to interrupt here, but Hosen, if you wouldn't mind making a history check, please.
Yeah, can do.
Hmm.
Gladly. 21.
Okay.
Oh, sure.
Um, you remember the very few times that you ever snuck out to get amongst the people, to get away from the life of an aristocratic child. There is a secret entrance, as all castles require there to be one.
Mhm.
You're not wrong.
Has to be.
And you know that this secret entrance is actually inside of the district where the League of Miracles is. There is one small sentry point, and in the basement of that, there is a tunnel that goes all the way into the basement of your mansion. So you would need to go basically across the city to where that quarter that is specifically designed for that League of Miracles and find that Sentry Gatehouse and infiltrate that in order to get into the secret passageway.
Gotcha. As soon as like I'm talking about like maybe we could jump over or dig under or dig under. Wait, I think I know a place. It's over in the League of Miracles district. I used to sneak out every once in a while. Like there is a secret tunnel that goes straight into the basement, but it would mean going to the League of Miracles district.
So, first of all, let's roll back for just a minute. Though
Oh,
I do
yes.
appreciate the excitement of this very strange situation that we find ourselves in. Now, I just mentioned a field trip because we were going to gain some information and then decide what our move was going to be.
Oh,
So, I don't know about this heist thing, and I don't want to get everyone all excited just quite yet before we commit to making that specific decision.
that you know what that was my misreading of the situation. My apologies on that. I
That's all
like
right.
the idea of doing some more recon first, get more information, go from there.
Right.
I like that.
So Jacob
Perfect.
is very like, kick the door in, let's go. So, first things first.
Mhm.
Cloaks up, and I'll cast Pass Without a Trace on everyone.
Perfect.
I have a question. Do we have to go doing this recon as ourselves? I mean,
Certainly not.
Don't have to. I was planning on putting up my little hood here, my little cloak, try to blend in a little bit more.
honey, I can turn you into an alley cat.
That is also true.
And then myself into something a little bit more refined. And Cinnabon, not to speak for you, but you and your siblings, we all can change. I mean,
Oh, certainly. I think the beetle situation worked quite well. I was anticipating a round two, unless there's any objections.
beetles, cats, spiders.
This will be one hell of a story soon.
I like this idea.
But let's step outside first.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I don't know if your friend's used to wild shaping and polymorphing in the bar, but that's just me.
I don't think I've ever been polymorphed before. What should I expect? What does it feel like?
I've only ever done it. To this. Let's say it's we could say it's like a tingling sensation on your extremities until you finally turn into what it is that will put you into.
I'm excited.
Me too.
There are
It's
some
been a
strange
while.
sounds that typically happened. They typically come across very crunchy, bone crunchy.
Oh,
But
There is no residual pain with this, okay? There's
okay.
certainly, it's just a
But
bit
exciting.
uncomfortable for a minute, but you get used to it.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
So you think I should turn him into, and she's talking to Cinnabon, cat, dog, rat, beetle. I think some of we can see that.
How's it? I feel like this is your call here.
Yeah.
Growing up, actually, I had a cat and kind of like a little orange tabby.
Nice.
Maybe that one. Possible.
All right. And this will be great. I think it'll fit you. All right, so Big Mama will go ahead and cast polymorph.
Perfect.
On Hosen got that set.
I will fail
Right.
the DC. I'll fail the save.
Sure.
Because you're a willing creature, so that's wonderful. Thank you for being willing.
I think Hosen
Really
goes.
will.
So let's go back to that uncomfortable. What? Just like immediately just.
It never gets old.
It
And you just
does.
see
It
a
does.
little orange tabby.
She goes down and like gives Hosen like a little scritch right between the ears.
And just like kind of turns its head. Oh.
See, I like this. And she'll go ahead and wild shape and also into a cat. And I'm trying to find where I put my beast book. Or AKA Monster Manual. It's like the wrong alliteration.
I got most of them pulled up, so no worries.
Yay. So yeah. She'll also turn into, let's say, yeah, like her typical like striped tabby that she did before we went to Shadeborough.
All right. And Jacob, what are you doing?
Are the children joining the Beetle Brigade, or are they resistant to the thought?
No, definitely not. If this is coming as something from you,
Yep.
then yeah, they will definitely do that.
Fantastic. And I actually think I'm. I think I'm gonna stay as I am. It's a bit strange to have 3 cats with a series of beetles, I think. Perhaps less inconspicuous that way. Cat sneezes. And right, everyone inside. Gotta hold his hands out. And Hosen, I forgot to mention you're going to need to guide me. Certainly.
I'm a cat. With polymorph, do I?
I mean, you
gain-
understand. You understand me. You just
Okay,
can't-
cool.
You just can only meow back, essentially.
Yeah, just meow.
Or
Just
react-
like
or react in kind.
No,
Meow, meow,
ears
meow.
pinned down.
Meow.
We're having issue. Tail poofed up. Another issue.
I like I paw at the door, unable to open it. Waiting for someone to open it, and then
Yep. Got it.
Kind of
Sort of
lead the
validating his
way.
thought. He's just like,
This
yep, that's exactly
is
right.
gonna be fun. Cool.
All
Do
right,
we want
Then I'll cast pass without traces then because we
Cool.
essentially.
Okay, so just to recap,
Mhm.
we've got Hosen as a tabby,
Zoo.
Big Mama as another tabby, all the children as beetles,
Yep.
and what is Cinnabon doing?
Walking.
Okay, so just regular Cinnabon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
And
All right, you all are immediately arrested upon leaving.
after all that, well, roll credits. Get out of here.
The shields are out front.
No,
Spears
We
pointed.
were actually looking for specifically a haircut and 2 tabby cats.
It says here around the poster.
No, so when you open up the door, you notice something that is similar to what I was describing to Second earlier, which is the foot traffic in the streets is much more reduced. There really isn't a whole lot of people on the streets at all, which I guess is good because you all are not in any sort of humanoid shape except for you, Cinnabon. But that said, you have visible sight of the wall that's in front of you. It's probably about 100 feet off into the distance.
Okay.
As I mentioned, the Laughing Lord is roughly in one of the quarters that is very close to the central area. So yeah, you can make your way over to that pretty easily.
All right. By the way, 25 stealth check. By the way.
Ooh, cool.
Okay, yeah, I guess we should all get stealth checks in.
Yeah.
As cats.
Cats would get
Cool.
+4.
Heck yeah.
That is a natural 16 +4 +10. That is 30.
Yep.
Ebus.
Still got it. Even as a cat.
Got
14.
him.
I got 14 plus 4.
That's
18.
Plus the 10 is 28.
Woof.
Okay.
That's a good score.
And what was yours, Cinnamon?
25.
All right. Okay. So you tell me what you would like to do.
Recognizing the issue being lack of communication now, as he starts to kind of walk around, he's going to see if he can make essentially a lap around the place first.
Okay. As you make a lap around, you see two things. One is that the wall itself is relatively uniform. There does not seem to be any doorways or entrances or any of those sorts of things. Whoever created this created it so that the intention was to prevent people from going in.
Certainly.
The second thing that you notice is that there are a number of these shield guards, and you you are sneakily moving enough that you were able to stick to the shadows, especially because it's probably 10 o'clock at night at this point.
Sure.
But making a full circle around, you see probably five sets of 2 guards each.
All right.
I'm just going to make a performative roll of a perception check just to see if they can contest your 25.
Sure.
Negative.
Cool. And I'll attempt to, because you mentioned it was Jose mentioned the secret door itself that was like underneath or like underground or.
Right. So at as you're making your way around, Hosen, you will recognize in your cat form the sentry outpost of the one that you mentioned before. And it is in a different portion of the city. So, like as I mentioned, there are kind of like these four quarters. In this one, there is a pretty well established and well crafted set of buildings that seem to be built out of some sort of marble or something like that. Really fine buildings, and you know this to be the League of Miracles area. But right on the border of that, essentially like right on the other side of the street from where the wall is, you see this kind of ramshackle shed of sorts. That is where you know the entrance to be.
Is there any guards around there that we see, or is
You
it
can make a
just-
perception check.
Perception check as a cat?
Since I'm looking, I guess I should probably join in on that. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Anybody who wants to can.
And okay. And cats have advantage on perception checks.
Ooh, nice.
Not bad.
So let me roll.
Oh, jeez.
Well, we have advantage. All right. Another 14 plus perception, 17.
Okay.
17 as well.
Oh, snaps.
23.
We're twinning. We're totally twinning.
Let's go. I don't know why I'm picturing in my head Cinnamon's just like carrying me in his arms, and I'm like a navigator, just like moving my head to like show where to go. Just like look over
You're
there.
like the dowsing cat.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, canon now.
Meow, meow,
Right.
meow, meow.
Green.
You know you
Jacob,
made it when you start making biscuits.
Mhm.
Jacob, I didn't hear what you got. What'd you get? 23. Okay. So Cinnabon, you see this first. But I think the 17s are high enough that you also see this second. But what you see is this is a 2-story shed kind of thing. And in the upper story, you see some light that is flickering. And you see a shadow pass across the light. And so the window that is overlooking this area kind of has this brightness to it. And then a figure moves across it where the brightness dims. And then the brightness comes back when the figure is on the other side.
Gotcha. So kind of like a lighthouse situation.
No, it just seems like somebody is walking around at the
okay,
second
cool.
floor of this thing.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Make note of that.
Yep.
Now, as far as because the shadow being the second floor, there's not like a perforation that would mark the location of said secret door, is there?
So Hosen would know that it is inside.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the floorboards of the first floor.
Gotcha. And we don't see any
Internal
light
light.
or anything like that on the first floor.
There are no windows.
There are no windows. Oh,
There are no windows on the first floor.
Gotcha.
So
Jacob, you look confused.
Yeah. So noticing the shadow, I look up to the second floor just to make sure that I understand. Like is it like lantern light and someone passing through?
Yeah, so let me explain this a little bit better. So there are 2 floors.
Mhm.
The first floor is unable to be seen
there.
because there are no windows.
Yep.
There is the second floor where there is a window, and just like you said, there must be some sort of lantern. And with a 23 or whatever you got, you can get this. Is that there must be some sort of lantern in that room, and a figure that is sort of pacing around the lantern. And that pacing is what is creating the difference in light, because they are blocking the lantern.
Yep.
And then they are not blocking the lantern.
Got it. Yep. That was the assumption I wanted to validate. So, and that's the only window that we see on that entire run through of the second.
No, there's a window on the side that you're currently looking at, and there's a window on the other side as well.
Okay. And they look
You-
pretty much similar.
Correct. And
Okay.
you could gather that this is probably to at least have some sort of visibility into the center of town.
Mhm.
And so this person is being stationed there as a lookout
Okay.
for what is going on in the center area.
Gotcha. That is what I was looking for. Okay. All right. So as I'm kind of going back around for like a second view, so it appears likely that we need to get maybe perhaps through an entryway via the second floor and then make our way down. Find this area that you know.
Mhm.
So, question is, do we gather some supplies and come back tomorrow night to do that? Or find some way to begin?
I think Hosen. What does Hosen do here?
Well, as you're thinking,
Mhm.
my preference, given the field trip, is likely to abstain unless there is something to gain immediately. Don't be wrong,
Yeah.
I want a second back.
Question, how high is that window?
Second floor, so about 15 feet.
15 feet.
Okay.
Do we see any door on the first floor, or is it
Yes, you
just
do, definitely. Yeah, there's a wooden door that seems pretty easy to open.
cool?
Now, what I will say is that it is 10 o'clock at night.
Mhm.
If you wait, and I don't know if this helps or hurts, if you wait, it'll be morning. And there could be more foot traffic, which could be a benefit or not, or whatnot. But just take that into account that waiting has implications.
Yeah, he was positioning it for the following night, actually. So,
I see.
so
Gotcha. I think Hosen as a cat, like, still just kind of meow, 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 and like kind of maybe like points towards the Laughing Lord, like we should head back and
Alright.
discuss.
All right,
Meow, meow.
fair enough.
Big Mama, what she's gonna do is hop up onto Cinnabon's shoulder, and then she's gonna glance up at the window and do like a paw, and like glance over at him, give like a nuzzle, and that you know just like keep pawing at the window.
Oh, wonderful! You've one vote for going back home, one vote for staying. Excellent. You couldn't be any more unhelpful in this situation, both of you.
I think
And I mean that
I
in
think
the best
Hosen.
ways.
For what it's
Hosen.
worth,
Hmm.
some of the beetles
I
that
was just
are
about to
where at
ask.
the moment?
I was just
Or
about to- that was my
where
question.
are the beetles at the moment?
They are inside my sleeves.
Okay. So some of the beetles crawl out of the bottom of your cuffs of your pants
Mhm.
and start like they turn around and then they start moving towards the shed.
Shed?
And then they stop and then they turn around and then there's like a little bit of a beetle jump that happens. But it's only maybe 3 of your siblings. And I'm sure you know which ones.
Boy, do I. Boy, do I.
I think Hosen, like seeing Big Mama Mocha, like reaching for the window, like we'll nuzzle up to Big Mama Mocha, like give her the cat headbutt, and then paw up at the window, go over to you, Cinnabon, like headbutt your leg and like stamp the floor. Like stay. Us two go, you stay.
I see. I think I pick up what we're putting down here. Guess we're got to test out the whole cat room then. And he's going to walk up to like and like have the walk up to the wall, and where like the like kind of nearby the window, he's gonna take Big Mama Mocha. And toss her out.
Hell yes.
Okay, so let me just make sure I understand. So you're gonna throw Big Mama over the wall.
You're gonna throw a cat.
Okay. All right. I need two checks, please. One, a strength check for Cinnabon. Make it with advantage because it's a cat.
Amazing. That's a 13.
Plenty enough to throw a cat 10 feet. Now the second one I'm going to need is an acrobatics check from Big Mama, but also make it with advantage because it's a cat.
Alrighty, I got my 2 metal dice for this one. All right,
Cats are very
first
good.
One, ooh, 14 on the first die. Sorry, that bounced out of my box, so we're just doing it again. And it landed on a 15. And my acrobatics +2, so that's 17.
Okay, fantastic. So this plan seems to work. The beetles that are on the ground, Hosen in cat form, you see Cinnabon toss Big Mama over. Now, you don't know what happens afterwards.
Nope.
And I'm actually very curious to know what the exit strategy is on this. But I guess we'll get there when we get there. Okay.
D&D, what's an exit strategy, Bill?
I think Hosen like immediately paws at Cinnabon, like paws up, like.
Would you like to join?
Meow.
All right.
All right.
Gets ready.
I need the same 2 checks with advantage for each.
Oh shit. Cool. Not good. That's a 6 for athletics.
I'm a fat tabby cat. I am pretty
Little Roar
17.
Rotund.
You're Garfield.
Yeah, I'm Garfield. Just I'm 17.
Okay. Here's what happens. Okay, so Cinnabon throws you, Hosen, in cat form. But the arc isn't right. And you realize that you are going to basically fall short. It's basically an air ball. But if you want to, you could grab the corner with a, let's call it an athletics check.
Athletics? Cool.
Or I can catch you and try again. We'll see.
We'll see what happens. Well, my strength is -4 because I'm a cat. So...
Yep.
No way I can acrobatics my way through this, can I?
I really wish I cast guidance on everybody. That's fine.
Let's see.
Actually, I'm concentrating on password.
Oh gosh, it is -4.
Yep.
Well, that is a natural 18 on the die for a 14.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Listen,
14.
listen, it is not a difficult check. I think cats are very good at grabbing onto things. So yeah, you are able to not only grab the corner of this, but also pull yourself up. And you are up on top.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me describe what you and Big Mama see on the other side.
Cool.
It is very obviously the old mansion that you know, and you more or less grew up in, Hosen, but it is different in one specific way, that it is completely abandoned. You could see that the doorway to the front is kind of smashed and like the molding around it is like peeling off. All of the paint is faded, and some of the windows have like the paint that is around the windows is like cracked and falling off. A bunch of the shingles are missing from the roof, and you can tell that there are spider webs basically everywhere. The door is still closed, however, but you could tell that it just there some of the windows that are outside have been like smashed and have big panes that have been broken out, and it is a very sad sight to see your childhood home look like this.
Hosen takes a deep breath, looking at the scene, and tries to jump through one of the broken windows. Is there any windows that a cat can jump through or nearby?
Yeah, there's a bunch of windows. I mean, so the windows on the first floor are at ground level, and some of them are smashed. So yeah, if you wanted to, you could make an acrobatics check and jump through them.
Cool. I would love to do that. That is a 13 plus 2, 15.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to jump onto the windowsill and then use that as a hopping off point to get through into the building.
Cool.
Big Mama, what are you doing?
With the figure that was walking in front of that window,
Mm-hmm.
how far is Big Mama from them?
Infinite, now that you're on the other side of the wall.
Okay. Then in that case, then definitely she'll follow Hosen.
Okay. Right. I
So-
didn't misunderstand that. Jacob, you threw Big Mama over the wall, right? So Big Mama is on the inside of the compound. Okay, cool. All right. So make an athletics check, please. I'm sorry, acrobatics, as you're jumping through the same window that Hosen just jumped through.
Okay. And that was just that one plus the +2, right?
Yeah.
For acrobatics, yes.
Okay. 12 total.
Okay. It is not as pretty as Hosen's, perhaps because you don't know the intricacies of this building, but you are still able to make your way through that window pane, and you land not graciously. You land kind of on your side as you jump through this thing, but you right yourself and you look around. The two of you now inside of the Zimmerset household. I want to check in with the Garrists. Now that everybody is on the other side, what are you doing?
As soon as they disappear out of eye shot, see, lucky that was all you. I didn't think that was going to work, if I'm being honest. And he's going to keep an ear out for any random meowing, and essentially be the if things go awry and suddenly there is a feline jumping off of a second story building, to attempt to be there for that.
Okay. Cool.
Keep out of still concentrating on pass without tracing.
All right. So, just to be clear, there is a bit of a buffer between the wall and the outer part of the mansion,
Yep.
roughly about 15 feet or so. So there is no way to jump from the building outside of the wall. But
There's not a
now
there's
let's
not a lip for a cat to jump on and then jump off.
well, so the cat would then have to jump 10 feet up to get onto the wall. I mean,
It's a
yeah.
cat.
10 feet? Can cats jump 10
Yeah.
feet?
I'm
We have a
Question.
climbing of 30 feet.
Oh,
We can climb.
I did not know that.
If there
Well, then
are
there you go.
strategic cat footholds.
Fair enough. I dig that. Okay, so let's hop into the center of the mansion. Hosen, when you land inside of this is kind of the foyer, the entryway, and you, even though it is dark in here, there are cobwebs, and it seems like all of the furniture has been ransacked and looted. There are, broken windows, and the wainscoting is sort of ripped off, and everything inside of it looks depressing. There's something inside of you that feels warm, and you have a little bit of a visual triggered memory as you are inside of this, because this is the site of one of your happiest memories. You remember, as you think back on this time, there's a moment where your father had been providing some sort of speech. You were too young to understand or really care about what the speech was about. You just knew that this was the man that you loved more than anything in your life, the person that meant the most to you, and you were so proud to be a Zimmerset child, standing next to him on side of some sort of podium. But your father had always put on a sort of suit in the midst of these political events, these engagements that required him to be possibly more eloquent than he needed to be, or that he naturally was. And so the moment that in this memory, you walk through the threshold of the Zimmerset household and the door closed behind him, you could see there was a posture shift in him, that the suit that he was wearing, this political machine suit, just dropped, and he brought you and Alara and um and Freya, brought them close, and said, all of that is only for the three of you. I only do that so that you are safe and you have all of the benefits that this station provides. And I love the three of you like nothing else. And he brings all of you together and kind of gives you a group hug and kisses each one of you individually on the cheeks. And you remember the day to be sunny and warm. And through all of the windows that are on the ground floor here, you could see that the light is coming through, and just felt hopeful. But then that moment kind of fades away, and you look around, and it is almost as though this is the complete opposite of that moment. You are not necessarily alone, but it is dark and cold.
Susan really thinks about those times and really looks at the surroundings. Just soaks it all in, keeps thinking about his sisters and hoping that they're okay, but just disappointed that those memories are gone. Or that moment was only just a moment. Hosen kind of shifts a little bit, remembers why he's there, looks over to Big Mama Mocha, and starts exploring a little bit more. I think in Hosen's mind, he wants to go if there was a study that his father had. I think as a kid, Hosen was like definitely one of those dads that's like no kids in the study, no like that was the father's like my dad's like space where he could be alone, and it was always like locked or just closed. Never saw it inside, only just for the brief moments of like a door closing. Um, but if there's anywhere that he would keep secrets, that would probably be the place to look.
I got goosebumps because I had written into like we had not talked about your house,
Mhm.
and I had written down that your father had a study that you weren't allowed in because children do not go into the study,
Let's
and
go.
it was always locked. And so you travel through the home, you go through kind of where the kitchen was, where your staff would be, making the meals for not only the daily dinners, but also if there was a state affair or whatnot, completely ransacked, all of the kitchen utensils removed, glassware and china, everything is taken out. You go into the dining room, same exact thing. You go all the way back to where the staircase is that leads up to the second floor, where the bedrooms are, and you see that door that is to the study. Now, every other door inside of this mansion has been kicked open almost entirely off of the hinges. And when you look at the study, the thing that you notice is that there have been kick marks on the door as though somebody tried to get in but was unable to do so. The door remains closed.
Gotcha.
Big Mama, I'm assuming you're going with.
Yeah.
Cool.
Is it like a cat's underneath the door, there's like that seam. Is there enough for a cat to get under?
No, sorry.
She's just clawing
Good
underneath,
thinking.
Okay.
So door is locked. How would I convey this as a cat? I think Hosen wants to go back to being Hosen and try to unlock the door. How would I convey that as a cat? I think I find a picture like. Is there any pictures of the family on the wall still, or is that just kind of all gone?
There are pictures. However, they have been slashed.
Gotcha.
Any picture of your family has just been cut to ribbons.
That makes sense. What does Hosen want to do? I think Hosen. Part of me wants Hosen to go back into Hosen. Also, I still want to stay a cat. I think he's gonna clock the SETI. Do we hear like any noises of like? Is this place completely empty, or do we hear any footsteps of any kind? Is there any guards in here that we can tell at this current moment?
You are looking for footsteps?
Footsteps, yeah.
Okay, make a survival check.
Survival. That is a wisdom, I believe.
Believe so.
That is a 4 for +1. That's a 5, baby.
Clutch.
Clutch. Amazing.
Yeah, man, you got nothing.
I got
It
nothing.
is all dusty all the time.
All dusty all the time. All right. I think if there's any remnants of a like a picture of just like even a slash mark of a picture that kind of looks like younger me, I think I would love to show that over to Big Mama Mocha and kind of like paw at it and like touch my chest, paw at it, asking to drop the spell.
Question. Okay, with that, can Big Mama in her wild shaped form, can she just stop concentrating on the polymorph?
You absolutely can, yes.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if I was actually gonna have to attack him and like drop his hit points down to 0. I was
It's just
planning
one
for
slap.
that.
Ow.
All right. So she'll do that. She'll go ahead and release
Mhm.
the polymorph spell.
Cool.
Okay.
Lovely. As Hosen again, I put up my cloak immediately to be stealthy, just for good measure. I would like to look at the store. I've seen the store a million times, but this is the first time I've gotten like. I remember as a kid looking at the store, looking at this lock, but I want to do another like now that I'm older. I want to take a look to investigate this lock if possible.
All right. You could do any number of checks. You could do an investigation, you could do a perception, or you could do a arcana. Up to
I'm gonna
you.
do perception on this one.
Okay.
24.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, what are my rolls today?
With a perception. Now, can you like physically describe what it is that you're doing as you are
Yeah.
investigating?
I want to see how intricate this lock is. If this door has, I'm assuming this lock is pretty well built. If it's been here for so long, there've been kick marks, but it's not like, can I pick this lock? Is basically what I'm trying to perceive here.
Okay, in that sense, then I think perception would not be appropriate. It
Okay.
would be an investigation check. But you can, because it was a good roll, let's leave that.
Okay.
And just change out the modifier for whatever.
Yeah, so it'll be 23 minus 1 for investigation.
All right.
Oh, wait, sorry. Hold on. 24 minus 7. Math it was 17, so 16. There we
Okay,
go.
16. So you can tell that this does not appear to like there does not appear to be a like a keyhole, right? This is not something where there is a key that goes in.
Right.
It appears that the locking mechanism is something other than mechanical.
Gotcha. Does it seem magical? Does it seem like a...
Well, that would be an Arcana check.
There we go. All right. That is a 12.
Okay. With the 12, you can confirm that there is some sort of magical energy to it, but you don't know the nature of it.
Yeah. This seems way above my pay grade. I am only a level 2 rogue. I don't think I could pick that, but I look over to Big Mama Mocha. The store seems somewhat magical. I don't know if you have any means to get rid of or maybe overpower the store. I want to get into this room. I just don't know how.
So Big Mama Mocha, she's still a cat. So she's like looking at you and just starts to kind of like groom her paws. And she'll go ahead and drop her wild shape.
All right.
And can she also make a check as well to
You
see if she can
absolutely
figure
can.
out
Now,
what type of
now knowing that it is some sort of magical thing, you're free to do a Arcana check as well.
Okay, that's a +2. So let's do 14 total.
Yeah, with the 14 total, you also know that there is a magical component to it, but the nature of which, not a whole lot of additional information gleaned from there.
Okay. Question. So, and she's talking to Hosen now.
Mm-hmm.
What's behind this door?
This was my father's study. It just I figured if there is any place in this house where secrets would be kept, maybe stuff about this that show off the tattoos, where this flower comes from, the best place would be is in there. He never allowed any of us to go in there. He always kept it private to himself, and the fact that this is the only thing that's not broken into in this place after all these years, pretty remarkable. Something's got to be in there.
Yeah, I would think so. By the way, I was always told that when you in someone's home, thank you. And it's nice. She's trying to make it light.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's
Um,
I prefer my home with Balthazar more than this, but
that is much
Weird.
more of a welcoming abode.
I agree, right? This place always seemed a little bit like, even though it was warm and inviting, something always seemed a little bit off, even growing up.
So DM,
Mhm.
can
Yes.
can we look at it together? Erupting Earth. That spell. And see, can I use that as a sort of spell fuckery to kind of get into that room?
I actually was looking at your spell list as you were talking, and I thought to myself, if she comes up with the idea to do Erupting Earth, I don't give a fuck if it doesn't matter. That is way too cool of an idea to dismiss entirely. So yes, absolutely. If you want to blow the fuck out of the wall or something, please.
Yeah.
Around the door.
We are.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I really wanted to do was go around the door. All right. So she pulls up the sleeves on her robes, glances over her hose and goes, "You may want to take a few steps back." And
Okay, I
then
don't
she
know.
goes,
I'm just like, I don't know what's going on, but okay.
yeah. She like warms her hands up like Mr. Miyagi, and then just goes ahead and casts Erupting Earth. So I'm
Hell
just
yes.
clicking that for my spell slot. It rolls a on there. It rolled a 3d12 is a 19 plus the modifier 22.
That is plenty. What you see is that the door more or less stays intact, but everything around the door is obliterated as this fountain of insulation and wood and flooring and stuff from the bottom of the floor just kind of like explodes out into the air and it starts raining down all around you. You are far enough away, however, that it doesn't necessarily do any damage to you, but what you see in the aftermath after the smoke clears is this door kind of standing straight up after the dust kind of clears, but there's nothing holding it up anymore. The entire frame around the door has been demolished, and then the door just kind of falls down.
I love that. Always hated that door.
Now I am going to hop away from you and go to Cinnabon.
Yeah,
Cinnabon.
yeah, hi.
You've been on high alert here, listening for, the tiniest whimpers of a cat trying to get across, or something subtle along those lines. And what you hear instead is, as like
Yeah,
it seems like there's, if you could see, which you can't because it's a 10-foot tall wall, but just for the sake of cinematics, like you see almost like there are like 15 chimneys in this goddamn mansion, and all of them have this
Like a shower,
smoke
yeah.
come out the top of them. Now
Oh, yes.
I want to stay with you for another quick second, because independent of that, you have heard something that was a little bit pronounced before. but now it is becoming a lot louder. And now you're starting to be able to discern what this sound is. And it is the sound of boots on cobblestone.
Sure.
And it is headed in your direction. It's not just 2 pairs of boots, it is many pairs of boots.
Okay. I think taking the rare moment to, instead of internal monologue, because he has an audience, to external monologue. I shouldn't have thrown Big Mama Mocha, shouldn't I?
I barely got that.
Oh, hold on. Let me check my mic
I should
again.
throw people mocha, should I? I'm trying to read the captions.
Yep. I think he just talks to the kids and goes like, I shouldn't have thrown Big Mama Mocha up there, should I? And he will. Oh man! Okay. So just like several footsteps, right? Okay. Okay. And I think like he begins to recognize the situation, and he's going to. Is there anywhere to duck out of eyesight? I recognize that 25 stealth check was forever ago. So
Well, but not really. I mean, it's only been 10 minutes since they've been inside. So
Okay, cool.
the 25 stealth check is still applicable.
Yeah, I need, because in his mind he's going to especially wait, like that's a lot of people likely, but I don't know what they're doing yet. I know there's loud noises happening, but I need a little bit more information before I make a decision. I feel like.
Yeah. Okay, I would like. Actually, your passive perception is pretty high. So I think instead, what I would also like to mention to you is that now that you're kind of on high alert, you're hearing these sounds of many footsteps approaching. You heard the explosion.
Yep.
And you then somehow intuitively look up at the guard post where there was a person moving across in front of the lantern.
Certainly.
And then you see a figure move across, block out the lantern, and then stop as they are now looking out the window.
They block out the lantern?
Well, like position-wise, like
okay,
they are in front of the lantern, looking out of the window now. Yep. So you can't see any features because they're backlit, but you can tell that they are perched out on the window, looking out into the center portion of the behind the wall, essentially.
Got you. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm waiting to see, like, and hear like what those footsteps are, people, numbers, orders being thrown around, like all of that stuff.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna park you there, and we're gonna go back inside. Back inside. Let me. I don't know why I put my notes away. Okay.
I will say, I'm gonna take a small piece of phosphorus out of my component pouch, and begin to just kind of hold on to it.
Okay. Cool. All right. I would like to go into the study now.
Ready. Let's go.
What's second dreaming about, Smitty?
Ready.
Oh God.
Hold on, I'm trying to piece together the next 26 minutes. And
While you do
when I go into business time?
Be right back.
All right. Okay. Oh wait, he really did leave. I thought
he was kidding too.
I thought he was
Me
joking.
too. That's what I was like.
Wow, I was not expecting that either.
All right, let's dip in. Smitty, what is Second's deepest feelings? Tell me. I'm sorry. Okay.
I mean, you can come back to me if you want.
Yeah, let's come back to you. All right.
Yeah.
So let's see here. That music is not appropriate for what is going on. So there we go. All right. So Cinnamon, what you see as you're kind of wading off towards one of the sides, you see a number of patrols that are pouring into the center area,
Shit.
and they are collecting themselves more or less where you were standing just moments ago. They are kind of aimless at the moment, and they are chattering amongst each other. And you count roughly about 12 of these. And seeing what you saw before, this is roughly about 6 separate patrols that have now coalesced in this area.
Holy shit.
They are essentially right right underneath where where that sentry was, and one of them calls up, "Do you see anything?" And the sentry says, "No, but I heard something." And they kind of go back and forth like that for a little bit. What would you like to do?
Okay. Built for the building itself, how lengthwise, how big is it in feet?
Big as what? I'm sorry.
Like how big is it in feet? Like from like if we were like on a map, like in the building itself, how many? What's the length in feet?
You talking about the sentry shed or the mansion?
The mansion.
Oh man, it's pretty big. I would say it probably occupies it. If this were a city map,
Yeah.
on like a gridded thing, we're probably talking about 250 feet.
Okay. And then how far away is that sentry tower from where I'm standing?
I mean, actually, you tell me, because you repositioned yourself after hearing these people come.
Yeah.
So you tell me what your position is.
I'm essentially like Pink Panthering like on the wall. Like
Okay.
Where I threw the cats up.
Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
And I'm just gonna whisper, "Be alert. Probably going to do something a bit out of sort." I'm just waiting to see if they advance on the mansion.
After a couple of moments of conversation between the sentry and the guards,
Mhm.
you see 2 of them move towards the wall
Okay.
and then bend down, and then they start standing on the backs, grabbing the wall, and then pulling themselves up to get over.
Oh shit. Okay. Damn. So essentially like I'm right here and they're like a bit away from me or like nearby and they're Pink Panthering or they're fucking climbing up the wall like right nearby.
Yeah, basically.
Essentially.
Yep.
Okay. Would you consider how so you said 200 and something, right?
250. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I take that phosphorus in my hand, and can I see the top of the wall from where I am? Can I like just barely like a lip of it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I will toss the phosphorus in the air, and I'm gonna cast a wall of fire all around the top of that. And it's completely opaque. The fire flames out of control, 60 feet long, 20 feet high, a foot thick. They cannot see through it. And the flame is, and the heat is heading this way.
Yep. Perfect.
Fuck
Perfect.
yes. Amazing.
Okay. The two that were just about to climb over, you see them fall off of the wall that they were just about to crest, and they are on fire. They run around, and at a certain point, they pass out, still on fire. And the ones that were kind of getting ready to crawl up, you could see that the heat is so intense that they kind of cower a little bit and move back away from the wall, and they are looking around. And I'm going to make another Hail Mary
I think that's
perception
totally
check.
fair. Yeah, because essentially, I'm gonna try to hide after that.
That was a good roll. Oh, okay, so it's flat. So no, I do not see you with the 25 stealth. But yeah, so that is what is going on. If all right, this is a good time. I'm going to switch back into the inside here
I think
and
that's super
go-
fair.
go
Really
into
cool.
the study. All right, so inside the study, you see a rather well-appointed room that has not been touched by any of the ransacking. It is still complete with some of the paintings that are inside of here, a rather small portrait of the Somerset family that is hanging right behind a very comfortable looking leather chair that is sitting behind a very heavy wood desk. There are a few figurines on the desk that appear to be, nondescript, something that somebody carved for your father at some point, and he kept a copy of. And you can see that there is sort of like fantasy filing shelves that is right next to the desk. There's only 2 shelves, but they are separate, and it seems as though they are also sort of well appointed in this really beautiful wooden piece of furniture. Let's see what else is in here. There is also a beautifully carved handcrafted grandfather clock that is currently ticking. What would you like to do?
All right. I think Hosen first goes over to that filing cabinet.
Yeah,
And tries to pull on it. Does it open at all?
it does. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Cool. I pulled open. Does it look like a filing cabinet? Like there's files, alphabetical order, all that fun jargon?
Yeah. You know your father to be a rather caring person, but also a very fastidious person. And one of the things that got him to where he eventually ended up was his ability to keep track of things. And so you look at the top, and the top piece of this filing cabinet has. Why don't you make an investigation check with advantage?
Pull out new dice for this one. Do this. Do this. Actually, what am I doing? I'm not a cat anymore. I don't need to roll dice. Investigation with advantage. 17.
Okay. With a 17, you look at the first piece of paper that's in there, and it seems like this constitutes some sort of transaction. This transaction was between your father and somebody named Elliot Morrow. I will put that name inside of the chat. And this transaction was for a finely crafted rapier. And in big handwritten letters at the very bottom of this, it is written the words "for Hosen." You look at another one, and it's just kind of at random now. You're going through, and you see another one. This is also seemingly some sort of receipt.
Mhm.
Also, Elliot Morrow is the one that is being transacted with, and this is magical training. And in the bottom, it says "for Alora." Then you kind of pick around and look at some of the other ones, and it seems like these are more or less benign transactions of funding for some sort of infrastructure projects inside of the city that resulted in an influx of cash of some sorts. And you assume that that money was, used for the at the very bottom of some of these receipts, you'll see things like for new schools, for a new garrison, for new walls, for like, and each of these different receipts indicates a different city project that was engaged with, and every one of them had the name Elliot Morrow written on it.
Does that name ring a bell for me at all, or?
No, it does not. As much as you search your memory, that name does not ring a bell at all. Now, I will mention that it does not appear as though there's anything in here that is untoward or related to black magic or anything along those lines. This all appears to be above board transactions of some sort
Gotcha.
with this person, Elliot Morrow.
Okay. Cool.
Now,
Lovely.
if you go into the bottom drawer,
Mhm.
you see in there is what appears to be another very fastidious record keeping of the family's personal finances.
Hmm.
Looking through these personal finances, you notice a couple of things. First is that perpetually it seemed as though the Zimmerset family was deeply in debt. As detail oriented and gregarious as your father was, he apparently did not do well with money.
Mhm.
And then looking through, you also see every once in a while a very significant influx of cash. Next to those increases in cash are the initials EM with an arrow pointing directly to those, like the line items of the increases in cash.
Gotcha. So this EM, am I assuming that it's Elliot Morrow as well, or what was to say? All right. Do-do-do. Cool. I'm telling like Big Mama Mocha all this. I'm trying to put as many stuff in my bag as possible. Um, kind of going through these files. Um, do. Big Mama Mocha, do you want to help me go through this desk here?
Of course.
A lot of this stuff seems above, not above board, but like transactional stuff. Um, very interesting. I just, there's got to be more here. There's something else that we're missing.
Yeah, absolutely. What am I looking for? Are we just going to take as much as we can?
I think kind of take as much. I kind of want to learn more about, um, like if there's any mentions of, kind of, I want to look for more like League of Miracles stuff. Any kind of transactions there, or any mentions of, like for example, I look at like the LA Moro, just like this is a transaction, magical training for Laura. If there's anything else regarding training for the tattoos or getting these tattoos that might help us out. If there's a transaction made for me to get these, my father would have kept that. Um uh Can you help me
Right.
take a look at this? All right.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Big Mama Mocha helps out with that.
Okay. Roll an investigation check, please.
Investigaciones. All right. Which is +2.
17 again.
5. Lucky you. I got 5
Okay.
total.
So, Hosen, in your search through some of the additional receipts and around the desk and those sorts of things, 17 is pretty solid in terms of looking at stuff. So I will give you a couple of other things as well as you're looking through here. One, you are looking through the desk and there is like a drawer that opens up, and it is like if I had a drawer like right here and you would put like pencils and stuff in it and whatever, like that's where the
Right.
drawer is on the desk. You're rifling through this, and underneath a couple of pads of legal paper or whatnot, you see a photo. You pull a photo out and you look and you see a picture of your father, and you see a picture of another figure, and they are not arm in arm, but they are close, and you can tell that there is some sort of familiarity with each other. And you notice that the person that he's standing with is a robed figure, and this is a person with a golden robe. You flip it on the other side, and you see the words written in hand on the back. Meeting with Elliot.
God damn it. My fucking father. All right. I pocket that. I think Hosen. Do we hear that wall of fire outside? Do we hear
I
any of
feel
that?
like it's pretty. You can roll a perception check. Why don't you do that?
Yeah.
Both of us.
Yeah, please.
Okay. For perception.
14.
All right. Let's try this. My perception.
I had 15 in mind.
15 is what I did get.
Okay.
12 plus 3.
Okay, so Big Mama, you hear something outside go, and
That's what my investigation sucked because I heard that.
yeah, that's right.
You.
Yeah,
Big
and
old
you
wall
hear
of fire.
some screams.
So she. Okay.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So no, she starts at that. Like she hears that, and then she'll crouch down, clearly knowing that that's actually like a great fire sound. And she goes,
Yes, I'm like going through files. I'm like trying to find any more details.
How much more time are you gonna need to do all this?
I mean, I could spend all night here. I think there's so much information here about my father, about my family. There's so much.
Right. We don't have that time. So don't freak out. All right, don't. I need you to hurry. I need you to hurry.
I think you're muted, bud.
Oh, what happened to your mic, buddy?
Oh, your mic cut out.
Oh, 1 second.
No.
Yeah.
Can't hear anything.
Yeah.
The magic.
There we go.
There we go.
Magic.
Yes. There we go.
I'm plugging it, plug it back in, baby. I think Hosen goes, oh, okay. Grabs all the information. Talks about Elliot Mora. One last thing before we run out. Is there a map, a globe, anything of significance that could help us pinpoint where any points of interest, kind of going back to when we saw the mayor's place with that map and all those pins and big circles and whatnot. Is there anything sort of like that in this study?
I would like one more investigation check, please.
I kind of want to do this as a detriment to my character a little bit. Can I roll with disadvantage? Because I'm like scurrying. I am trying, like I'm frantic at this point.
I think that's fine. I'm going to give you one additional thing just because
Mhm.
your previous 17, but let's roll this one.
Cool. I'm gonna roll 2 dice here. 7.
So
Mhm.
you had nothing. I was going to give you this before, but things got heavy,
Dicey.
dicey. Um, you notice that one of the figurines that is on the desk
Mhm.
is kind of oddly positioned. It is not something that would be um it's almost as though like this figurine is cocked to one side and is kind of defying gravity in some way.
Gotcha. I look to Big Mama Mocha. Get out of here. Get Cinnabon. Get back to the Laughing Lord. I'll meet you there. There's a secret passage that I used to take when I was a kid in the basement. If I could get down there and get out of here, I could probably meet you there, or I could figure this out. Um, I kind of want to pull on that lever. Um, Let me rephrase. I want to pull. I want to grab that figurine. I
Okay.
sorry.
Not better. Not better.
All right. Big Mama, with those instructions from Hosen, what are you doing?
She's gonna ask, like, why do I have to go?
I don't know.
I mean,
You say we need to go. Okay. Okay.
we're going together.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So here is what happens next. In that moment, Big Mama, you are standing behind Hosen as he is pulling on this figurine. The both of you watch as the figurine kind of like there's a chain attached at the bottom, and the chain, as he pulls it, kind of like triggers something, and he releases the figurine, and you see they're right behind where those filing cabinets are. The door there opens up kind of a secret door, and as the secret door opens, you see a couple of things. This is a pretty small room, which is no larger than like a mid-sized closet, and inside is a small bound journal that is sitting atop a small shelf on the left-hand side. On the right, you see a flower inside of a vase, and this flower has soft purple velvety petals.
Fuck.
In the middle, you see two hooks that are spaced roughly a foot apart from each other that are empty, but you can definitely see that there are scuff marks underneath those hooks where something should be and is that is currently not. And at this moment, you see that flower and recognizing that it is a fresh flower in the vase, and strange that it hasn't wilted after so long. You then notice that the ticking of that grandfather clock has ceased. And then, Big Mama, you hear something coming from you, coming to you. And Smitty, I know you've been exceptionally patient.
So second wakes up a bit disoriented after having gone to sleep early in the day. So comes to after a nice 8 hours sometime in the middle of the night. Immediately hops up, begins to twist a wire from their shield, and reaches out. Big Mama. Second, West Run. Audience with the governmental folks. Hosen Sunhelm, hero. Zimaset's kid, looking for this person. Things are going to get a little complicated. Yeah.
And then we are going to end it there. tonight.
Amazing!
Ah!
Oh, fucking amazing!
I want to cry. Oh god.
Oh
Oh,
my god! What the fuck?
oh,
Holy shit!
oh,
What a recon mission, y'all. That was great. Great information.
goodness.
Smitty, I very much appreciate you bending to the whims of my dramatic tendencies.
Oh my
I-
god! Sorry.
We could have done that much earlier, but I thought that was timing on that
That's
was
perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I promise next session.
Dude, none of us are showing up. It's all
It's
second.
all second.
It's all second.
It's all second.
100%.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? We will show up. We'll be right here in the Zoom call, and we'll watch y'all play D&D.
Honestly, down.
Yeah.
It's only fair, I feel like.
Yeah.
All right.
Yay.
Let's do the normal round the horn here. Who are you? Where can they find you if they would like more content? Rain.
Me, when I'm not getting swept away in tears because of amazing re-entrances like that, you can
Oh, I
find
know,
me on Instagram and on TikTok as Virgo_Rain for all of my mermaiding and cosplay adventures.
Right. And Alex.
Hello, everybody. My name is Alex or Ziva RPG. You can find me here on Twitch or Twitter. It's been an honor playing with this amazing group of people. I will be here every single Tuesday, frantically going through my dad's journal. So it'll be a great time. Thank you so
Podcast coming
much.
soon.
Podcast coming soon.
All right, and Smitty.
Hey, folks, Smitty, you can find me on the Epitheater Discord. That's it. Bye.
And Jacob.
Holy shit. So first of all, bucket list material. I've always wanted to cast Wall of Fire to block a bunch of people. So that was amazing. As per usual, I'm Jacob Plick, King Jacob, wherever one can be found, typically Twitter and Instagram. As always, here on Tuesdays, right now for the next 5 weeks over on the Twitch channel, This Is How We Roll, playing some D&D for Hope Lavelle, who's running that game over there. It's going to be really, really awesome. Had a really cool cliffhanger for episode 1. So come check that out. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern time, right over there. And on Thursdays, bi-weekly Thursdays, so this particular week actually is a Waffle Table Syrup week. So I had an old fashioned. Give me a break. Strength of the Thousands campaign, Outcast and Outclassed, our Pathfinder 2E campaign over there. We're actually wrapping up the book 1 of the module that we're in. And so it's going to get really, really intense as per usual. So come check that out. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern time, twitch.tv/Waffle Table Syrup. And then, of course, Sundays, bi-weekly Duval and Dragons. We're actually on our way to episode 50. Had the biggest reveal of the campaign so far, which as the DM, 3 years in the making, pretty cool. So there's also that Dragonlance Dragons Rebirth on the opposite Sunday, and then of course, as we talked about earlier, on the 26th of January, we're starting Arkenhold University. Really, really excited. This metagame is going to be running that right here on the Amphitheater, and a bunch of other stuff because I don't know how to say no to playing games with old friends and new friends. So there's that. Yay. Bill?
I mean, you can catch me here every Tuesday doing this thing. Beyond that, hang out with me in Discord. That is pretty much it. You can find me sometimes in Costco. Usually in
Which one?
in the meat section. Just kind of like tooling around, looking at the large pieces of meat,
sausage.
drooling.
Our
But beyond that,
sausage.
that's pretty much it.
And Chipotle. You're at Chipotle too.
Yeah, well, my DoorDash driver is at Chipotle.
On the way to you?
That's right. All right, Jacob, you wanna take us out?
Yeah. So last thing, before we get into the actual thing, we have a Discord publicly available. Come chat with us about the show. I'd love to chat with you about any of the shows, old, new, indifferent. You know what? Actually, I'm wearing you the Yolia 5e shirt, so go watch that and talk to me about it. And as per usual here on the Empathy, we'd like to remind you of the following truths. That's the fact that Black Lives Matter, stop AAPI hate, trans rights are motherfucking human rights. If you don't have a uterus, you don't get to tell people with uteruses what to do with theirs. It's not your uterus. Stay in your damn lane. Climate change is real. Read some damn comics. And when you have the opportunity to, choose love. Thank you so much for being here as per usual. I should figure out, because I actually had someone that we're going to raid, and then they went bye-bye. So we're going to go raid our dear friend, IE. I don't know why I say IE. Anyway, we're going to raid some metagames. They're playing some Ravenloft. Jeremy, who is in the Duel and Dragons cast, is running that game. So let's go see if he's TPK'd already. He's been promising them to do that for a while. And something that Bill almost did tonight, probably. So we're going to head over there in like 6 seconds. So thank you as always, and we will see you next week. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
And we